Once upon a time, in a magnificent kingdom nestled between rolling green hills and sparkling rivers, lived a king who was wise, yet very proud. He had 3 daughters whom he cherished, but as the years went by, he found himself wondering which of them loved him the most. So, one bright morning, the king summoned his daughters to the grand royal hall. "My dearest daughters," he announced, his voice echoing through the chamber, "I wish to know how much you love me." The eldest daughter, full of confidence, stepped forward first. "Father," she declared, "I love you more than all the gold in this kingdom." The king smiled, his chest swelling with pride. Gold, after all, was a symbol of wealth and power. Next, the second daughter approached. "Father," she said with a bright smile, "I love you more than all the diamonds in the world." The king's smile grew even wider. Diamonds were rare, beautiful, and highly prized. Finally, it was the youngest daughter's turn. She was known for her kind and thoughtful nature. "And what about you?" the king asked, expecting another grand comparison. She looked at him with gentle eyes and replied softly, "Father, I love you more than salt." The entire hall fell into a stunned silence. "Salt?" the king repeated, his voice laced with disbelief and growing anger. "Salt is common and cheap. How could you compare your love for me to something so ordinary?" But the princess remained calm. "Father," she explained, "salt may seem simple, but without it, even the finest food has no taste. It is small, but it is essential for life." Blinded by his wounded pride, the king refused to understand. He felt insulted and humiliated. In a fit of fury, he banished his youngest daughter from the kingdom. Heartbroken but resilient, the princess left the palace behind. She journeyed to a distant land and, in disguise, found work as a simple kitchen servant in another royal court. A long time passed. Back in his own kingdom, the king decided to host a magnificent feast to show off his wealth and importance. He invited kings, queens, and nobles from all corners of the world. The royal tables groaned under the weight of exquisite dishes, juicy roasted meats, freshly baked breads, elaborate cakes, and piles of colorful fruit. But the king was unaware of a secret. His youngest daughter had heard of the feast and had quietly returned to the palace kitchens. She gave the royal cooks one very specific instruction: prepare all the food for the king's plate, but do not add a single grain of salt. When the grand feast began, the hall was filled with music and joyful laughter. The king, at the head of the table, lifted his spoon to taste the rich soup before him. His expression immediately soured. "This is awful," he boomed. "It has no flavor." He then tried the roasted meat. It was bland. He tasted the bread. It was tasteless. Even the vibrant vegetables were dull and unappetizing. Growing more and more frustrated with each bite, the king finally slammed his fist on the table. "Who is responsible for this terrible meal?" he demanded. At that moment, the kitchen servant stepped forward, removing her disguise to reveal that she was, in fact, his youngest daughter. "Father," she said gently, "this is food without salt." Suddenly, the king's mind flashed back to her words from so long ago. "I love you more than salt." Tears welled in his eyes as he finally understood. Salt was simple, yes, but it was absolutely essential. Its value wasn't in its shine or rarity, but in what it provided. Just like his daughter's love, he rose from his throne and rushed to embrace her. "My dear child," he choked out, "please forgive me. I was a proud and foolish old man. I judged you too quickly and failed to see the depths of your words." The princess hugged him back tightly, her own eyes shining. "I never stopped loving you, father." From that day forward, the king learned a profound lesson. True love isn't always flashy like gold or brilliant like diamonds. Sometimes the most important things in life are quiet, simple, and absolutely essential. The princess returned to her rightful place in the palace, and the kingdom was once again filled with joy and delicious, perfectly salted food. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.